What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again. And as you can clearly see, the title of the broadcast. Listen, look, fellas. So apparently, out in Las Vegas, this young lady here actually, put something in this man's drink and, stole his watch. I think it was like 14,000 or no, $18,000 watch and stuff like that. And then we also have another young lady that pretty much did the same thing. You fellas out there, you have to understand. Stop being so gullible for these bitches.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
You have to be on guard. If you're going to be out partying and stuff like that and taking these chicks back to your rooms and stuff like that, which, it's crazy, but it is what it is, though, man. You got to, be on guard for certain things. So we're going to dive off into this. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
To a crime alert, a night out in Brickell ends with an arrest.
Police say a woman seduced a man at a bar called Sugar, but what she allegedly did after was more sour than sweet. Local 10's Roy Ramos live now outside the jail where that suspect is being held. Roy.
Calvin and Nicole, unfortunately, this is not the first time that we reported on this type of crime. It happens so often in Miami-Dade County that police actually have a name for it. They call it a bad date case because that's how this all starts. It starts with a date, but that date takes a turn for the worse when one of the people involved is drugged and then robbed.
Hope you're well. Miss Warner's next.
23-year-old Rachel Warner in bond court Thursday after being arrested by City of Miami police for allegedly drugging, then robbing a man of his $18,000 Rolex.
I believe that a couple of things. Number one, that the defendant is a danger to our community.
Investigators said it all happened at the Sugar Rooftop Bar at 788 Brickell Plaza in early April. Detectives say Warner is seen on surveillance video first speaking to a man at the bar, then walking back to his hotel room.
While they're in the room, she serves him a drink. Now, in this drink, they put some drug. He falls asleep. Next thing you know, hours later, he wakes up and his Rolex is gone.
First step, fellas. Don't you ever let no woman pour you no damn drink. Not no woman you just met. If that's not your wife, well, sometimes you might not even let your wife pour you a drink. But that's neither here nor there in this particular topic right here where we at. Man, when you meet these broads out here in the street, stuff like that, with this type of situation going on that happened in Vegas, man, you don't let that chick pour you no drink. You pour the drinks. You control the situation. You control the narrative. You control the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Especially you, a dude walk around here with an $18,000 watch, dude. You supposed to control everything.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
The hell you talking about? No, she not pouring me nothing. I'm pouring all the drinks. I'm monitoring all the situation, stuff like that. I'm making sure everything's clear. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, though, obviously he was slipping. It is what it is, though.
Crazy, man. That's kind of scary.
Brickell residents we spoke with shocked to hear of the brazen crime, but police say it's not the first time they've heard of it.
Now, this is not something new. This is something that we've been seeing time and time again here in Miami.
Detectives say video from the hotel shows Warner taking off from the hotel room at 3 a.m, appearing to be in a hurry. While she was able to get away just this morning, officers spot her on the prowl again.
Damn, so she was on the prowl again. She went in there, did that to this guy, got back on the strip, said that at the end of the day, though, I'm finna hit another lick. And Jesus, man. And I know, makeup works wonders for women. Look at her right now. She's behind bars. Look at this picture right here. She's behind bars, things like no makeup, stuff like that. Now, I guarantee you, yeah, she probably put on makeup, stuff like that, a push-up bra or something. Because, them chesticles is flat as hell out here. But, you know what I'm saying? We just being honest here. So, yeah, this is a plain Jane ass chick. And these cats out here be, breaking bread, falling all over heels because these chicks put on all this horror paint and stuff like that. And of course, they look totally different than what they really look like when you wake up with them in the morning. And yeah, this is what you got right here. This is what took this dude down. This average ass looking broad right here. This is what took him down. Now, of course, she didn't look like this when he was dealing with her. She had her makeup on, stuff like that, probably dressed up real good, of course. You know, but yeah, though, it's the deception that most men are falling for out here. But they need to understand, you know, especially a man in that position where you could afford to have an $18,000 Rolex. I mean, Jesus Christ, come on now. You're supposed to know better. Technically, you do, but I get it.
Again,
went to a certain place. They were watching out. They located her, identified her while she's talking to a 61-year-old man, probably trying to do the same thing.
as she was taken into custody, it's what she was found with that the undercover detective who arrested her said shows this was likely not the first time she's done this.
And these kinds of cases, we call them bad day cases here in Miami.
Inside her purse, they found 2 eye drop bottles, which contained this liquid, which was not eye drops.
And investigators still in the process of testing just what exactly that liquid is. As for Warner, she does remain here at TGK being held with no bond. You know, when we spoke with police today, they urge people out there that are out and about in this nightlife scene at restaurants and bars to always keep a close eye on your drink.
And yes, as you're supposed to. And, you know, when you go into clubs and stuff like that, spaces, if you put your drink down, then you need to buy a new drink. That goes for both men and women in today's society. Things are totally different. It's not the same. You know, listen, look, you know, or either carry your drink with you, you know, if you go to the restroom, something like that inside the club, whatever, you know, definitely carry your drink around, whatever. But no, though. And also, too, you know, yeah, you got to watch the bartenders and things like that, you know, in certain, you know, spaces and things. It's crazy. It's complicated as hell out here in today's society, you know, trying to go out and have fun and things like that, because, yeah, people can be treacherous. You know, the bartender can be working with, you know, one of the nightlife ladies to, you know, set somebody up and stuff like that. You got to be aware of certain things. I'm telling you, though, if you look like a big fish, man, you know what I'm saying, they gonna try to get you. If you look like a big fish, they're gonna try to get you. And it just is what it is at that point. And, you know, yeah. And this has been going on for decades. This is nothing new. I had a great aunt, a great aunt in my family and stuff like that. You know, back in the I think this was like, yeah, this is like back in the 40s. And, you know, she went out and stuff like that, and she got like that with the drink at a club one night. And, you know, we had to take care of her the rest of our lives. And you know, of course it trickled down, you know, to me, you know, at the same time too, you know, aunts and uncles, we all looked after her and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, she had got back in like the 40s and stuff like that, and she never was the same, you know. And yeah, this is a serious situation, people. When you going out, it's even more treacherous now. But thank God cameras and stuff like that were around and things, and they was able to catch stuff, you know, definitely catch her. So you listen, look, man, I have another chick right here that we're going to dive off into, and we're going to check this out real quick, because I'm telling you, though, you know, this happened 3 days prior. This is the video that I just showed you guys. That was 2 days ago from the time I'm making this video. The one I'm going to show you now happened 3 days prior on the situation. So listen, look, man, it's wild out here. And this I'm going to show you guys now. This was a black girl. Allegedly, she's from New York, and she was down in Miami, you know, Florida, basically, you know, on some treacherous shit. Let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
New at 5, a woman from New York is in jail tonight and facing a South Florida judge. Police say she would lure men at bars and then rob them. CBS News Miami's Nakaya Carrero joins us live from the jail in Northwest Miami-Dade, where that woman's being held.
And Nakaya, police say she robbed one of the victims at his own home. That's right, Elliot and Lauren. According to the arrest affidavit, one victim invited 29-year-old Brittany Scott back to his place after meeting at the Saxony bar on South Beach last October. The last thing he remembers is them having a drink. According to this arrest affidavit, they got to the man's house around 3 a.m. They were having a drink, and he doesn't remember anything after that.
Okay, so of course, you know what I'm saying, these situations, both these situations, if we're paying attention here, you know, they happen, you know, prior to these women being convicted and being presented in court. So yeah, it's a year later after both these women had done the deed. Listen, look, this is the thing right here. Like I said before, you know what I'm saying, you can clearly see how this chick is looking right now. I guarantee you she didn't look like that at first. This makeup and all this, you know, dolling up and stuff like that makes women look totally different. And, you know, a man's attractiveness and eyesight is definitely what attracts us as men. Now, our issue is as men, and I'm gonna speak to the fellas on this, is that we need to start vetting more. Now, the problem is with that is when we're out, we're at these bars, we're drinking, stuff like that. Definitely as men, our position lowers as far as, you know, thought process about what we can engage in and what we cannot, because, you know, partying, alcohol, and other substances do kind of, you know, diminish your thought process so you can think quickly and move around the way that you need to move. I mean, it just is what it is. That's everybody, male, female, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? When you're impaired, your thought process works different, especially once you get overly impaired. I'll put it that way. You know, having one drink doesn't necessarily throw you off, but when you get the partying and stuff like that, it's a whole difference. Let's keep going. Let's see what's happening here.
He was discovered on the floor by another female who was staying in his home around 7 a.m., who said there was blood around him and a broken wine bottle. When he woke up, he had credit card alerts for him to verify purchases, and that's when he realized his wallet and Rolex watch were missing.
Okay, so he had alerts on his phone. The other gentleman, they didn't say he had alerts or anything like that. Well, obviously, the other chick, the white girl, probably didn't steal credit cards and nothing like that. She stole the Rolex. So obviously, the black girl right here stole credit cards, you know, watches, probably other things, stuff like that. She went for the gusto. So yeah, and yeah, these alerts and stuff like that. Nowadays, when you get these street criminals, chicks like that and stuff like that, definitely as men, you know, these alerts and stuff like that, you know, if they're not in decent society, they're not going to know about, you know, you having your credit card sign up to alerts to make sure that nobody's committing fraud or anything like that. They're not going to know about that. They're just hitting a lick. They're trying to get whatever they can for the moment because they're desperate, pretty much.
The concern is, what is she slipping them? Victims could have been killed.
They choose to take somebody home when they meet in a club. We can't be everybody's parent. You got to be careful when you pick up somebody at a club.
Now, that's not the only case open against Scott right now, who is from New York, according to another arrest affidavit, where there was a second victim back in November where she met him in another bar in South Beach, went back to his place and robbed him of his iPhone and his Rolex watch. In West Miami-Dade, Nikai.
Man, y'all cats out here got to stop this shit.
What the French toast is there to think about?
Man. When you meeting women out in public, strange, you do not carry them bitches back to your damn legal residence. What are y'all doing out here, man? What are y'all doing? If you got enough money to have Rolex watches, you got enough money to buy a room for the night. What are you doing carrying women back to your legal residence, where you actually pay bills at, where you actually have, you know what I'm saying, a substance in your life, where you actually eat breakfast at when you need to, or you do your day trading on your computer and shit? What are y'all doing? Man, what is this? Now, don't get me wrong. I've had times where I've slipped and stuff like that, but this is like I was like maybe 23 years old or some shit. You know, they're talking about these men are past 40. You know, like these are old men. I mean, not old, but I'm just saying these men are not. They've been on the planet long enough to know not to carry a chick like that back to their main residence. What is this? And the previous video that I showed you guys, yeah, you know, he took her back to his hotel room and stuff like that. Dude, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to get 2 rooms at the hotel, keep your main stuff in one room, and use the other room for pleasure out here. Man, but hey, this is wild right here, fellas. Y'all got to get this shit together, man. This is crazy. And you know what I'm saying? Man, wow. You got to start paying attention, because this could have been way more tragic. You could have ended up missing a kidney or not even waking up. You know, man. Woo-wee. Fellas, especially if you got good resources, man, you got to watch yourself even more. And I'm not saying that the men that don't have tremendous amounts of resources don't need to watch themselves either, because they can get got too. But you know, yeah, all men, y'all, regardless of what, man, you got to watch yourself when it come down to dealing with some of these women out here. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line. Y'all, man, be careful out here, man. I'm telling you, man, y'all be careful.